Yeah.
I would like to call the school board meeting for October 1st, 2019 for the Des Moines Public Schools to order. Please take the roll.
Mr. Barron?
Here.
Ms. Bradley?
Here.
Ms. Langford? Here. Ms. Ellsbernd?
Here.
Ms. Delagardelle?
Here.
Ms. Caldwell-Johnson? Ms. Anderson?
Before we get started, I am going to ask the superintendent to give us a weather update.
Welcome, Central Iowa. Little forecast for you. As you can tell, we're having some inclement weather here. In the event that a tornado warning, Warning's higher than watch. Yes, we're under a watch now. If a warning does get called, our custodian is keeping an eye on that. If a warning does get called, he will enter this room, and I'm going to ask everyone to stand and follow the custodian to a lower level where we have a designated safe spot in the event of a tornado. So we're hoping that won't happen, but in the event that a warning is called, we will be asking you to follow us to the basement. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, first item of business is approval of the agenda. Dwana has asked that we amend the agenda to remove items D2 and D12 to other for separate consideration. So may I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda with items D10 and D12 moved to other?
So moved.
Did you say D2 or D10?
D10 and D12.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Delagardelle and a second by Ms. Langford. Please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Next on our agenda is approval of minutes for September 17th, 2019. May I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes?
Second.
Motion by Anderson and a second by Bradley. Please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Next on the agenda are consent items. We allow any person the opportunity to speak to the board for up to 5 minutes following the presentation of an agenda item. If anyone wishes to speak to an agenda item, please go to the information desk to sign up. Remarks must be germane to the agenda, and we ask that you avoid reference to personalities and character attacks, as those types of comments serve no productive purpose, and we appreciate your input. As a reminder to the board and public, the board will not engage in discussion or deliberation with a speaker regarding comments made to agenda items. Discussion and deliberation will remain among board members at the board table, with speakers' comments informing said discussion, deliberation, and determinations as deemed necessary. Ms. Delagardelle, do you have the motion?
I move that the board approve the consent items in accordance with the recommended action for each item on the consent agenda, including bills previously authorized, certified, and approved for payment by the board secretary in the amount of $12,158,851.94.
Is there a second? Thank you. Motion by Ms. Delagardelle, second by Ms. Langford. Any discussion? All right, please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Next on the agenda is a public hearing. The public hearing will come to order. Is there anyone wishing to speak to item E1, public hearing for a gymnasium addition and renovation at Pleasant Hill Elementary School? Hearing no one, I will close the public hearing. Dr. Ahart, would you please introduce the matter and our presenters?
Yes, I recommend the board review the proposed plans and specifications prepared by FEH architects and engineers for gymnasium addition and cafeteria kitchen renovation, hold a public hearing, and approve the plans. And with us here tonight are our COO, Bill Good, the principal of Pleasant Hill Elementary, Ms. Terry Price, and from FEH architects, Rick Snyder. I will turn it over to these three.
My name's Terry Price, and I want to thank Dr. Ahart and the board for looking at this project. I've been at Pleasant Hill for 13 years now, and I'm so excited this is going to happen for our kids, to have some extra space to be able to arrange our schedule and things. I would like to introduce tonight Rick Snyder he's Vice President of FEH Design, located here in Des Moines, and he's going to walk the board through the scope of the project. And then our COO, Bill Good, will follow that presentation with some budget and highlights and things. Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to thank the board for the opportunity to present this project. It's an important project for FEH Design. A little bit on orientation, kind of to the left of the site plan that's up is actually north, and that's, and University Avenue is farther up. But and the main entry is on the north side of the existing building. There's a parking up there by Linden Boulevard, between Linden Boulevard and Oakwood Drive.
Oh, there it is.
There. So, oops. Okay, so we have an addition, and the purpose of the project was, right now, the cafeteria and the gymnasium are in the same space as labeled cafeteria, so the goal of the project is to separate those two functions, so we're not actually displacing any existing space. So the kitchen will be expanded, because we'll take the PE office out of that area and athletic storage and move it to the addition of the gym. And then the cafeteria, we've been able to incorporate a better flow for the students going through the cafeteria that used to go through the kitchen, so we'll have a better kitchen facility and a better flow for the cafeteria that is dedicated strictly to cafeteria. And then the addition up on the upper right hand of the plan, we cut a corridor through the existing book storage area, that brown corridor, and then we did the addition, and then we've got a gym addition that is supported with a PE office and also PE storage. There'll be two family restroom area and then another restroom for that facility. And then we've also added book storage for the space that we did displace. So, and then there'll be a new entrance there to the south that will be directly onto the playground. So that's another advantage. The gym area is right adjacent to the playground facility outside the gymnasium doors. And then I think the next slide will be of the 3D image of it. So the addition will be the portion on the right-hand side, and we're just taking the same materials that are in the existing facility, matching the existing brick and colors of the existing facility for the gym addition, and then you can see the kind of the new corridor lobby area that separates the existing facility from the new addition. And then the playground in the foreground. In addition, to just be a one-story facility.
Sorry about that. Some of the highlights of the project that was mentioned was we are now going to be able to separate the gym and the cafeteria. As you may remember, that's been a big initiative in our school district, and it allows better scheduling for our individual schools. As Rick said, there's going to be improved, better access for students to the playground area on the exterior of the building. Real plus here is expanded kitchen facilities and improved student traffic flow. We are going to be cooking at Pleasant Hill instead of satelliting meals in, so another better opportunity for our kids. And as always, we're a model for energy efficiency to optimize our community resources. And it's going to be arranged and set up where after-school and activities can be segregated from the rest of the building for better control of those things. Okay. Tim, I'm going to assume you're going to take control because this isn't working. The construction timeline, You reviewed, or you had available to you, the preliminary plans on September 17th. Tonight, the board is reviewing the final plans that are presented to you. We are looking forward to a spring 2020 construction start for this project, with completion in early September of 2020. The project budget is estimated at $2.5 million. Tim? Questions and comments?
I mean, that's cool. That's how I grew up. Like,
Yeah.
you smell the food cooking right in your school. That's awesome.
This will be a full kitchen
Yeah,
for cooking purposes, yes.
it really does benefit the kids and parents and everyone. That's great.
I don't think this is a big deal, but just can't tell from the plans, the existing classroom that the lobby and corridor are gonna come around, were there windows there that are now going to look out into the lobby corridor, or like that, it looks like the home plate, like the classroom that looks like a home plate?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, there is an existing door and exterior windows at that location, and they will remain, but in the vestibule, we've put a window in there, so, I mean, you can still get natural daylight into that classroom through the vestibule, through the outside door, so we're trying
Okay.
to address that as best as we could.
okay. Yeah, no, I was asking that plus, windows out into a hallway, just curious, so, thank you.
Superintendent's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Anderson, a second by Delagardella. Please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Next on our agenda is item D10, award of design services for a concession stand, storage, restroom building at Williams Field at East High School. This item was moved from consent for separate consideration. May I have a motion and a second to approve item D10?
So moved?
Second.
Motion by Delagardella, second by Barron. Any discussion?
Yes, I will be abstaining from this vote just for professional reasons.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes 5-0 with one abstaining. Next on our agenda is item D12, personnel recommendations. This item was also moved from consent for separate consideration. May I have a motion and a second to approve item D12?
So moved.
Motion by Barron, second by Langford. Discussion?
Will be abstaining from this vote. I have a person on here who's on my board for Juneteenth.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Please vote. Motion passes 5-0 with one abstaining. Next on our agenda is item F1, open enrollment late applications for denial. Dr. Ahart, would you please introduce this item?
Yes, according to state code, there's a code-determined deadline for applications for open enrollment. Under special circumstances, a late application may be approved. Those two cases on the agenda tonight are two cases that were late applications that did not meet the special exception.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to deny the open enrollment late applications listed for item F1? Okay, we have a motion by Langford and a second by Anderson. Are there any speakers here for this item? Okay. Any discussion or any questions? All right, please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Next on our agenda is F2, revision of Board Management Delegation Policy 3.3, Superintendent Accountability and Performance. Kirsten, would you like to give some context to this revision?
Yeah, board, if you'll recall, it was not at our last September meeting, it was at the first meeting in September. I think it was during our work session, I had brought this forward and told you it would be on our agenda last time, and it just kind of got missed of being added on there, but essentially, what this does is that when, it just sets into policy when we change, a policy, we ask just that our superintendent comes to us with interpretation of the policy for our information only, so similar to our work session at the end of last meeting, and then also just writes into policy and reminds both the board and the superintendent that it is up to his discretion to adjust interpretation of policy at any time, and then, to let us know prior to monitoring reports being reviewed by us, so.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to approve item F2?
Second.
Okay, motion by Langford, second by Barron. Any discussion or questions? Okay, please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Next on our agenda is item F3, our board work plan, and this further details work we've committed to doing to fulfill our governance duties. And I will turn it over to Kirsten for this process.
Okay. It looks like as far as continued items, external monitoring, I think Terry was gonna have an update for us on that at our second October board meeting. We have ongoing, we did review some KPI, or at least not some KPI, but some interpretations at our last meeting on that, and so I'm sure we'll probably be seeing KPIs shortly, whatever shortly in that timeline means. Remind me for 2.1, we were gonna set a collaborative work session around what we wanted to see on the report. Where are we?
That would be those two, one of
What
those two
okay,
that we did
yep.
last time.
Okay, so that was part of what we did last time. And then we've adopted our goal progress measures, but we have not adopted limitations progress measures. Is that where we're at?
We adopted yearly target goals,
Okay,
and then we haven't done anything with the limitation.
okay. Is that something,
I believe we have a report coming up, I think it's November 5th.
okay,
That's an update on compliance with the new policy on SEL.
Thank you.
okay. We are very rapidly nearing the end of our year. What I may do is start to make a brand new one for us so that we can start to add to new work that when our new, there are a few items we'll follow up on before the new board is seated, but for the most part, I think most of the work we add from here on out will be taken up by the new board.
Yes. The one thing we did talk about, but it's not on the work plan, I think we mentioned it last week, our last meeting, was around orientation for new board members. I quickly put together a list of topics, and I'll hand that out now. And then that's something that, if anyone sees anything that they think is missing, or this sort of just outlines things that are probably need to happen pretty quickly. And I did scrawl in handwriting board docs on there because that'll be something that new board members will need to be trained in, the use of board docs. So if anybody has any other topics for orientation, to add, just let Kirsten and me know, please. Anybody have anything else on that topic or on the board work plan? Thank you, Kirsten.
Okay.
Next on the agenda are information-only items, G1 preliminary plans for various school improvement projects for the board to review. And then we have items of privilege. I don't really have much to share other than I believe October 1st is the attendance count day, right? So
Yes, it is.
today is the day that attendance counts for funding and
next
a
year.
lot of other things for next year. So I'm sure people hung lights and put up a tree and to celebrate or something. But just always a reminder that our funding is a year in arrears. And so what we have today is what gets counted for next year, no matter what the number really is. And oftentimes that number ends up being higher than the count of the previous year. So any board members have anything else to share? Okay, I'll turn it over to Dr. Ahart for the superintendent report.
Thank you. Not a big report tonight, but I did want to publicly recognize Mr. Shashank Aurora, who is joining us as today was his very first day, actually, in the role of Chief Financial Officer. Our cabinet meetings, which we hold the Thursdays following board meetings, every time a board meeting happens, are being held in the Thomas Harper room at Dean Avenue. And Bill was making a presentation at our last meeting and was standing with the picture of Thomas looking over his shoulder and made the comment that we often feel like he's still looking over us. So I want to recognize all the efforts again and friendship and expertise that Thomas brought to my team and to the board and to the entire district. And I'm thrilled to have Mr. Aurora joining the team. He's going to do an excellent job, and I'm very excited for everyone to get to know him. So welcome, Shashank.
Thank you. Okay, one more item of privilege for the
Thank you.
board.
I thought you were going to say something, Superintendent, but I just wanted to congratulate the district and the students who worked on the Youth Voice event. It was really, really awesome and very impressive and so exciting to see our students have that opportunity. And I thought it was just a really unique thing that we should be proud of as a district.
Absolutely.
So it was
Thank
a
you.
great event.
Thank you for lifting that up. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting, and we do have a closed session following. Let's reconvene in 5 minutes.